ruck work. But to be honest, it didn't really come into play last time about, so I'd expect him to go for a full 4 quarters.
We're underway in this third term, and it was Howard that won the tap straight to Farinata, who got the clearance for Greensborough. And then Brindley was pushed out of bounds and will have a boundary thrown immediately for the Borough. So there's a perfect start for Matthew Hyde's men. Of course, Matthew Hyde, his first year coaching Greensborough, already re-signed for 2025. He's a premiership captain of this club's last senior men's premiership, of course, back in 2014. And the son of the great Rob Hyde, who's doing some work as well for Greensborough this year. We're back in the middle, he's Farinata again, who's just had the ball on a string so far today. His handball to Hasler was okay, but then Hasler coughed it up. And Hurstbridge will just be happy to force the stoppage for now. So Matthew Hyde doing great things already so far for Greensborough in a coaching sense. Looks to be the long-term man so far at the club. He's Farinata again, got the handball away to Brindley. Howard, his handball to Hasler. He was set upon immediately by Machete. We'll go again.
Yeah, Farinata, it's a name we've been saying a lot this afternoon. He's definitely been the prominent mid in this Greensborough team.
Howard to Hasler, who gets boots the ball quickly, but staying in the way is the Hurstbridge defence. They'll look towards the Clace, who was pushed out of it by McFawn, allowed the ball to hit the deck. Here's McFawn again, got the arms up and the handball away, but it went to Machete. Then Camwell with a very high kick in the middle of the ground. Plain got underneath, but couldn't take the chest mark. Cookson evaded, but his handball went straight to O'Sullivan. Chance here again for Farinata, spun back to find O'Sullivan again. His kick hangs in the air for McCubbin. Coming from the side was Liam Middleton, didn't take the mark. Smith got boots a ball, and it works for Glenn. And Brodie Glenn will mark no more than 20 metres out from goal. And this would be the dream start to the third quarter for Greensborough. If Brodie Glenn can kick his third of the afternoon, but more importantly, get a goal against the win for Greensborough.
And he's had periods where he hasn't been too much in the game, Brodie Glenn, but when he's got his chance, he's generally taken it and popped up when his team needs him, and it would be such an important goal. Greensborough have started the better of the two sides in this third term.
So Glenn comes in, and you've absolutely jinxed him, Tim. He's missed that one to the left.
Oh, no.
And
at least one a week, the commentator's curse.
You had him down already.
It looked like he aimed for that left goal post, but the ball drifted left to right, but it was too late.
So Hurstbridge have cleared it all the way to the middle of the ground with the wind advantage in their backs, but Greensborough with the numbers, although Cookson, who I reckon has been Hurstbridge's best on ground so far today. He has just been in absolutely everything, and again they're laying a really strong tackle. Ball gets tossed up again as the kick drifts inside 50, almost got to Kent. And we'll go out of bounds for a boundary throw. And he's actually changed numbers, Will Cookson. He's now rocking the 28 for the rest of the afternoon. Not sure what happened to his first jumper. Must have been ripped in some way, but with those bright blue boots of his, it's hard not to miss where he is on the field. So we'll have a boundary throw in then. Inside 50 for the Bridges. Howard and Agosta doing the ruck work. Here's Howard, who got the tap down. Another clearance for Farinata. That works for Hart. So Zach Hart still in defensive 50. Called to move it along. Looks to go to the boundary. Brindley gets the front spot and takes the simple chest mark. Brindley goes down the line. That's not a great kick though. And Hurstbridge captain Ethan Taylor intercepts on centre wing broadcast side. He's going to go back with his kick. And Liam Middleton can start a switch. They'll look to go a bit more central here, however, but played, it just doesn't bounce for him. Although ricocheting it well to Fitzgerald's favour, who goes inside 50 in the Stewart direction. That's Darcy, but they run out of room. We'll have a boundary throw in.
And it's a good little passage of play from Hurstbridge. They've been the team more so to elect to use that switch, and it's benefited them a couple of times just being able to bring that ball inside forward 50.
So we'll prepare for a boundary throw in. Side 54, Hurstbridge. That ball almost getting through. Spills to Cam Wild. To Cookson, who tried to get away. Found Machete, who was then tackled over the line. And we'll have a boundary throw in inside 50 again for Hurstbridge.
It's interesting. Jake Wild doing the ruck work in this forward part of the grounds for Hurstbridge in the first half. It was Nick Kent who was pushing up and doing that ruck work, but he's instead sitting in the goal square.
Boundary throw in, tap coming from Howard, just got over the head of Blake Fitzgerald. And that ball again not going anywhere, so we'll have another stoppage.
Another matchup I think is going to be interesting to watch in the second half is DeClass on Will McFawn. DeClass in that first half was really good with his marking ability, so I think McFawn going on him could try and subvert that.
Chance here for Machete, just couldn't get boot to ball, instead the Borough do, and it worked out okay to find Campbell Walsh. He's got it at halfback on the outer side for the Borough. And then that kick, wow. You see that wind has taken that right out, and that's gone over the fence, and we've lost a second footy by the looks of it. So it's on the full.
And yeah, both sides for the duration of this match have elected to kick to that outer side when exiting their defensive 50, and I think that's because the wind is blowing a little bit in that direction, giving the ball a couple extra metres, but what's happening is it's causing sometimes errors like this.
So looks like we've got, no, it's come back.
Got this one back, very good.
Potentially, so we'll be able to resume play through Will Cookson. Who chips it to Cam Wild, still outside 50. Call to play on is Cam Wild, who sets it home from 55 out, but that's too wide. And out of bounds on the full is the call. 7.5 gone third term, just a 4-point ball game at the moment.
It's been a strange opening to this third quarter. No team really able to get that much of an ascendancy or clean possession.
Johnston looks to hug the boundary with the kick, and the mark's taken here by Smith. So Jamie Smith at half-back is going to handball it away to Sievers. He'll get more purchase on the kick. Hymas flew, but Brindley was in front, and he takes the mark. So Brindley just wanting his players to come forward here. He sends that one very high again, hangs in the air with the wind, and allowed for Jake Wild to take the intercept this time. He's called to play on, and he'll get it all the way towards half forward, and Brindley and Wild just playing some kick to kick. Brindley with the mark this time at half back. And then this one's going to be cut off as well. So,
well, it's turnover after turnover at the moment for both sides. And I think that's why Hurstbridge are going to try and look through the centre corridor here to change things up.
Yep, they're going to go laterally with this kick. This time they go more towards the broadcast side. That drifts inside 50, and the mark taken by Stewart. Darcy Stewart. You can hear the crowd below telling him to go back and have a shot. He's only kicked 4 career goals, but they've all come this year. And has played forward for pretty much this entire contest anyway. Has kicked goals in his last 3 games, Darcy Stewart. From the paint of 50, low ball, but not an accurate one. And on the full again for the Bridges. So with the wind in their favour, they would really want to make more of the opportunities here, Tim.
Certainly would. Not sure if Zach Hart doing a little dance on the mark there put Stewart off. But Hurstbridge need to find a way to capitalise because they haven't kicked a goal since their first term.
So Sievers, his kick goes on the full, so we are going to have another chance, if you are Hurstbridge, to get this ball back in. The Clace. He's actually going to hand it off to Machete here. Machete told to go back behind his mark. Call to play on. Machete, left boot ball to the corridor. Great spoil coming from some Greensborough defenders. One of them was Walsh, ricocheted off a couple. Spills all the way to Cam Wild, who spun well but couldn't get rid of another tackler. Holding the ball. We'll see Greensborough regain possession at half-back. It'll be Tom O'Sullivan, who's gained plenty of possessions today for the Borough. Between him and Farinado, they've had a great amount of the sharing as they go towards centre wing on the outer side, and it doesn't end up touching a player. We'll have a boundary throw.
Greensborough need to find a bit more of a way to be composed coming outside their defensive 50. It's seemingly time and time again where they're kicking it out and the ball's either being turned over or it's just going out for a boundary throw-in. I think Matthew Hyde would be pretty disappointed seeing that. Just need a bit more surety coming out of defence.
Boundary throw-in, tap from Brindley to Wild, and now the Bridges win the clearance. They go towards the top of the goal square. Getting a fist onto it was Fisher. Severs will concede. And Hurstbridge 3-9-27. Trial Greensborough 4-6-30. 11 minutes gone, third turn. Johnston. He's got Blakely as an option. Decides to go towards the outer side again with this kick because Smith's a big target up there. He's got the height advantage. Just went over his head. Hymas goes towards half forward. Richards almost claimed the mark. He's going to paddle it forward. Clean bowl to Goster. Anderson, was he held without the footy? Umpire lets it go. Johnston again, the reliable defender, clears his lines, and that's a nice kick as well for Greensborough. Blakely. Chance for Padham. Here's Andronako. Centre wing, broadcast side. He can get a player on the run. That's a well-measured kick to McCubbin. Zach McCubbin's 55 out from goal. Can go short to Padham again, who's all on his own inside 50, and that's where he uses. Very tight angle, though, for Ben Padham. And would be kicking from just inside 50 if he opts to go have a shot, which it looks like it is what he will do.
He does look like he's looking for the lead of one of his teammates, but none coming.
Well, they're just there. Padham able to get it in the nick of time to a teammate who was on the lead, and McCubbin will return the favour, and Zach will have a shot on goal. So the angle probably better, but the distance, I'd say, just about the same for Zach McCubbin.
And he's going to have to work this ball left to right with the wind, which was seen a few times in this match, and that should just about give him the distance. And it would come at such an important time to kick his second of the match for Zach McCubbin. He's been quiet since he first kicked that goal in the first term.
McCubbin will come in from just inside 50, 45-degree angle to speak of, and that's going to drift way across the outer side and bounce just in the field of play for a boundary throw. Just didn't get that timing right in terms of the swing of the ball.
No, not quite, and that ball was carried by the wind across the face of goal. And you feel like at the moment just both teams need a bit of a spark, and whoever can get that next goal will get a lift, because it's been quite a while between drinks for both teams in terms of scoring.
Apart from the wind, it's been a fantastic day so far here at Preston City Oval. Here's Hasler. Got the handball away, but straight to Wild. And then the clearance coming from the Bridges. Although Greensborough do have numbers, the bouncers didn't help them out at all. Worked out for De Clace instead, whose left boot ball was a pretty good one inside 50. I'm not sure if it was intended, but it was perfectly weighted in the end. And now Hurstbridge have a chance to go end-to-end, and Harry O'Brien can restore Hurstbridge's lead.
And that kick from De Clace had to be absolutely perfect, because O'Brien was facing a 2-on-1, and the ball was weighted just perfectly so O'Brien could mark that on the chest, and with directly in front, it's the best opportunity that Hurstbridge have had.
Goal number 13 of 2024. O'Brien does not make the goal umpire move. And the Bridges are back in front, 4-9-33. Greensborough 4-6-30. And maybe that's the spark that the Bridges need to get themselves firing in this third term.
I think that's the bit of momentum that Bridges fans have been waiting for, because they've had their fair share of opportunities but just haven't been able to convert. And now for the Bridges, about halfway through this third term, they'd be looking to kick on and just try and pile on as much scoreboard pressure as possible while they've got that wind advantage.
Their first goal since the 26-minute mark of the opening term. And we're back in the middle again. The Bridges want to inflict some more scoreboard pressure. They get the clearance, a bouncing ball towards half forward. Will it get there for Stewart? It won't. We'll have another boundary throw in just outside 50 for Hurstbridge. So 15 and a half minutes gone.
Looks like Kent's is doing the primary ruck duties at the moment, and Jake Wild sitting at full forward.
So Kent tries to get the front spot. Brindley did get the last second. Machete falls and we'll have a ball up. Don't mind that move. Get Kent involved a little bit too. As the ball gets tossed up once again. Kent getting the tap. Did well in that area. Plain ran onto it. Spilled the footy. And again, that ball not going anywhere for the time being. So we'll go again. 40 metres out from the Hurstbridge goal. The only major of this third term so far. Tap from Brindley, almost to Cookson. Here's Machete, and another boundary throw-in to come.
It looks like Brodie Glenn has made a move into the midfield on Will Cookson. That's going to be such an exciting matchup. Two players we know can be explosive and such fun to watch.
It certainly is a great matchup there, Tim. Rucks go at it again. Brindley almost getting it was Panham. Working harder though was Richards, but he couldn't get clean use of the footy. And we'll have another ball up. Has been a very lacklustre third term, I must say.
Yeah, certainly a lot of stoppages, but that's what Hurstbridge can bring to the table. We know they're a great contested side, and they brought their tackling pressure in this to start this second half.
Panham gets the clearance for Greensborough. Middleton, the Dane variety, almost taking the mark from too deep. Handball out wide to Machete. Didn't get a kind bounce, but able to still win the footy. Towards half forward he goes. Is that going to be a claimed mark? No. Hart was able to grab the footy on the full in the end, but he was touched by multiple hands. So a good call made there by the umpire. Ball gets tossed up again. Brindley. Another clearance from Greensborough. Smith's got about 3 to beat. Didn't even get to him in the end. Dane Middleton on true centre wing, broadcast side. To half forward, he's got multiple options. One of those is Cam Wild. Cam Wild, about 60 metres out from goal. With a big gust of wind as well. Set sail for home. And that had have been accurate. Had that have been accurate, I should say, that would have gone all the way through. But it's a behind, and the margin's at 4 points.
It would have. I probably would have preferred to see a centering kick from Cam Wild. It was a pretty low percentage shot, and that ball in the end just drifting to the left-hand side of the middle sticks.
So it's an interesting time here for Hurstbridge. They really need to find some goals while they've still got this wind advantage. But that kick out goes straight to Brindley. So Brindley goes towards the outer side with this kick. Hymas comes in late to spoil the footy and the ball goes out of bounds. But what would be a suitable lead, you think, for the Bridges heading into three-quarter time to give themselves a chance of winning this final? I
think the way this match is shaping up, I'd say 2 goals. Because you look at it, there's only been 8 goals scored for the entire match. It's been very low scoring. So I think if Hurstbridge can get that out to beyond 12 points, they'd be very happy with that lead going into three-quarter time.
Both rucks getting a tap, but another clearance looks like it's coming up for Greensborough, although Kent laid a strong tackle on O'Sullivan. Spilled out to Ham, who found Brindley. Back to Ham. Ham takes 2 bounces on the outer side. Handball inside 50, doesn't get to a teammate. There's lots of numbers around. Doesn't quite get there. Ferrinato got the handball away. McCubbin spun out of danger, but then disposed of the footy incorrectly. And Hurstbridge will look to go now on the outer side. Cookson goes straight through the corridor, and it was all Greensborough. Sievers there with the relieving mark. He'll look to go back towards the outer side. Great effort, though, from Jake Richards to spoil that ball running back with the flight and cause a stoppage.
It's very courageous there from Jake Richards, just going up and causing that ball to spill across the boundary line and just allowing his team to reset and potentially win this clearance.
We're into time on now in this third term. Only one goal has been kicked for the entire quarter. That was courtesy of Hurstbridge, who lead by 4 points. Tap from Kent. Fitzgerald in the bottom of that pack will go again.
It's been, goals are hard to come by in this second half, in this match altogether, actually. I think there's only been about 3 goals kicked since the start of the second quarter.
Glenn just got it away to Blakely, who goes towards half forward, but Hymas intercepts now. He can get this all the way to half forward with his kick. He decides to go a bit shorter into the corridor. And then they'll complete the switch here for O'Brien. Will it get to him? He got a hand onto it. Greensborough with the numbers. Here's Johnston. Johnston goes down the line with the left foot ball. Hurstbridge now with the numbers in this contest. It goes to the ground. They'll have another boundary throw in. 21 minutes gone, third term. Bridges lead by 4 points.
And yet again, we find ourselves on this centre wing with a boundary throw in. Both sides really would love a goal to end this third term and go into that final quarter with the momentum.
Ball gets tossed back into play. Howard, two-handed tap. Machete at the back of the pack. Gets the clearing ball. This one will drift towards half forward. Johnston! Just so strong in the contest is Jack Johnston. Can never be beaten one-on-one. Another intercept mark for the Greensborough captain. You'll find Fitzgerald with this kick. Defensive side of the wing, broadcast side. Fitzgerald down the line. He's got Smith as a target, but 2 Bridges flew up and it landed for Agosta. One of the tallest midfielders I've seen, I reckon. Kai Agosta. Could play any position. Cooper Perrin. Yeah, that's going to be 50 against Zach Hart. He was told multiple times to go back on his line. Was unsuccessful in doing so. And Cooper Perrin will get a simple shot on goal. Slight angle from about 35 metres out.
That's costly there from Greensborough because they've done so well to hold up the scoring ability of Hurstbridge. And as has the theme been in this match, goals have often come from moments of ill discipline. And that was a very costly error there from Zach Hart. And now Perrin, who's kicked the 2 behinds today, looking to get his first major of this match.
Slight angle to make it a 10-point ball game for the Bridges. Closing into half-time. He's missed to the left-hand side. And the Borough team really get away with one there.
Yeah, they certainly do. That was a very gettable opportunity. And yeah, both sides, especially Hurstbridge, beginning to get a little frustrated, just not being able to convert.
4-11 plays 4-6. 23 gone, third quarter. Johnston finds Aiton Delaney on the outer side. He'll look to play on and send it very high down the line. It hangs in the air again, this ball. Off hands. Greensborough with numbers to surge forward, and that's exactly what they'll do. Again, taking a couple of bounces here. I think it's Brodie Glenn. He's got 4 bounces. Can just chip it inside 50. He's got Zach McCubbin in a heap of space. He can handball it over the top. He can go for goal. He's going to kick it across goal instead. Making some work here for his teammates. McFawn goes to the corridor. Doesn't quite work. Can O'Sullivan make him pay? They can't. And wow, what looked like a certain chance on goal is forced a stoppage. Instead, it's inside 50 for the Borough.
Well, Greensborough had to find a way to get a scoring shot there, and they made it way more difficult than it needed to be.
Brindley out of the ruck. He'll kick towards goal, but that one not going to even register a score. In fact, McCubbin will mark. He'll play on, and he'll kick a goal. Well, they went the long way around the Borough, but they got that goal. McCubbin has his second. And Greensborough have hit the front again incredibly. 5-6-36 to 4-11-35. Brindley out of the ruck. Lots of height on the footy. Drifted to McCubbin's hand. Not sure if he thought it was 15 or not. Had the footy smarts to quickly play on. Vacant goal square. Borough in front.
That's such a pivotal goal. And It felt like something out of nothing for Greensborough. It wasn't the cleanest play you'll ever see, but they all count when the ball goes through the middle of the sticks. And that's Zach McCubbin's second of this afternoon. And for Greensborough, they absolutely needed that, getting the lead back. What a psychological boost.
So 25 minutes gone. They're going to win the clearance here again. The Borough, Howard, Brindley, O'Sullivan, 40 metres out. Brody Glenn, 25 and closing. 2 in a minute for the Borough. Brody Glenn's kicked his third, made up for the one that he missed earlier in the quarter. And Greensborough, you would think now, despite there still being a quarter to go, Tim, and with the wind in their favour in the last term, have 1 foot in a semi-final.
Oh, absolutely. That was such a pivotal moment. And it's amazing what a goal can do for Greensborough as the umpires confer here. Not sure what they're conferring about, but it looks to be a free kick actually to Greensborough in the centre of the ground. And it'll go to Farinado, and it's been all Greensborough these last few minutes.
So Farinado, just with the cool head at the moment, just telling his team to slow things down. So it has been Greensborough in this last minute. They've kicked back-to-back goals. And they're going to go inside 50 again here. Chipping ball towards the goal square. This time it will be cut off by the Bridges. Cam Wild finds Taylor, who finds Cooper Barbera. He goes towards half forward. Does it sit for Stewart? It gets to Johnston first. What a colossal game he's played today, Jack Johnston.
He's happy to let things sit, knowing there's not much time left in this quarter.
We'll just chip it to Sievers. About to tick into the 27-minute mark. Sievers, well, that didn't get to his teammate on the full. Caused some pressure, and a turnover could be likely here. Johnston doing well, though, and great shepherding as well from Zach Hart to allow Johnson that space. He goes down the line. 3 Bridges fly, and it's going to be advantage for Greensborough after they won a free kick. Glenn to McCubbin, who's at the back of the contest, doesn't even get to him. McCubbin tried to go off the ground, but he ran out of room.
And
haven't they turned this game on its head?
Greensborough looking so dangerous in transition, and they really could have had another there had Brody Glenn's kick been a bit more effective to Zach McCubbin.
Taylor's going to go to Cookson. Hurstbridge now on the defence. Cookson will handball to Taylor. Tried to give it back to Cookson, but couldn't get it to him. Instead goes inside 50. But there's a free kick going to Hurstbridge. It was an interference in the goal square.
Well, that's costly because that ball was not going anywhere near the goal square. That inside 50 for Hurstbridge was going about 45 metres out from goal, but giving that ball away and into the hands of Harry O'Brien, who will look to kick his second in this term. It's not what you need if you're a Greensborough fan.
So O'Brien then, from directly in front, will bring it back to a 2-point game. And to say that Hurstbridge needed that was an understatement. 5-11 plays 6-7. And it does outdo a bit of Greensborough's good work over the last couple of minutes to get the game back on their terms.
Well, it certainly does. It almost feels like a little bit of a 12-point play, considering Greensborough, when the ball was last inside their forward 50, they probably should have kicked an almost certain goal, but it was not to be, and Hurstbridge just went down the other end, and Greensborough giving away a free kick at the top of the goal square. Well, that's a coach killer for that sort of play and bringing the game back within 2 points.
So Howard looks to get it to Farinado. Panham's in there for support as well. Just can't extract that footy. We'll go again. 29 minutes gone now in this third quarter. And the game has certainly come alive in this last 5 minutes. Hurstbridge through the middle again. Here's Wild. Booming torpedo! Misses. Must have been touched just in that final moment, because that was a goal from a good 80 metres out otherwise. And the margin now, Tim, is just a point all of a sudden. What is going on in this game?
It's remarkable. It's like these two teams have remembered they're in an elimination final again, and the intensity has finally lifted after a bit of a lull for quite a while.
Aidan Delaney clears his lines for Greensborough. Wild wanted the mark claimed, but not coming. We'll go again for a ball up.
I feel like it's only probably Hurstbridge who can score here with not much long left in this third term.
And it's exactly what they'll try and do through Hymas, who kicks it inside 50 over the head of James McCubbin. We'll have the ball up. Inside 50 for Hurstbridge. 30 minutes now gone. In this third term of enthralling elimination final contest. Ball gets tossed up. Chance for Wilds. And I think a free kick's going to Greensborough here from a ruck infringement. So Howard will win the footy. Handballs to Johnston. Wastes no time in getting the kick away from defensive 50. Almost a mark for the Bridges. And that is your siren. And boy, have we got a big final term coming up at Preston City Oval. It was a pretty lacklustre 20 minutes, to be honest. But in that final 5 minutes of the quarter, things really turned on its head. Greensborough produced back-to-back goals inside a minute and had a 7-point lead. And it even got that out to 8 points before an ill-disciplined free kick allowed Harry O'Brien to kick truly. And now's Tim, the margin sits at just 1 point in this elimination final. Greensborough 6-7-43. Lead Hurstbridge 5-12-42.